It wouldn't be authentic otherwise.
Oh, it didn't do the intro.
Oh wait, man, I'm sorry. This is Megan. This is Megan. And banners and
That's fine. I just stuffed my face with a burger and we're live. But hello everyone and welcome to
Okay, I have a countdown now. Do you want to do it?
Sure. We can do drinks.
We did it.
Welcome back. Normally we have Megan here who sets this whole thing up for us, and she just kind of shows up and does all the things, and she's not here with us right now. So it was Julie. I thought I had more time to eat. I did not. So
we're just gonna wing it. It's all good. It makes it authentic. Last week, the episode that had the most views was me and my deepest, darkest depressions. So we'll just keep being honest and authentic.
You know, I think we were pulling in. They were like, you know what? She needs us. And people showed up. And thank you for that, everyone. So
yeah, I just wish it was one where I was like wearing makeup or smiling. It's all good. It's all good.
I had my best ones when I was like a homeless person. So
of course, right. So I'm Julie with the Academy of Logic and Light, and I'm here with Elle, and we're doing Monday Night Astrologies. We are a peer-to-peer education platform that empowers people to practice their spirituality ethically and without indoctrination. We have this class, and we have a couple classes coming, and we have monthly in-person meetings in Salt Lake City, and then we are starting on January 25th, our very first full moon Zoom, and those will be based on the lunar cycle, and then the signs that it's in, and we'll do like kind of a guided meditation, a little exercise. It'll be really nice. Yeah, then more things are coming, but stay tuned. So that is it for now. I'm going to run a quick little intro, and then we can get started. Woohoo! We did it.
We made it.
Did the things we're supposed to do. All right, cool.
I'm excited for the new moon stuff, and I love that we're doing virtual because for one, it snows all the time here, and it's hard to get to Salt Lake ever. And two, like we have so many, I feel like we have a lot of East Coast people. I keep getting a lot of comments and a lot of requests from people on the East Coast, which is so cool. I got one in Denver, one in Florida, one in somewhere north. So,
oh wow,
Northeast. So yeah, really awesome. So thanks guys for tuning in, and then we have our OGs Ogden and Salt Lake.
Yeah. I love seeing where everyone's fun. It's interesting to watch, and I think it's just going to keep getting more interesting too.
Yeah, so
hopefully more convenient with this time.
Yes. Oh yeah, a lot of people are like, this is so much better because I'm not at work. So
yeah.
But if you're
can have drinks
watching
now,
and you want to just say who you are and where you're from, that is always super fun. If you have your birth charts, you'll be looking at your ascendant today. So we're doing the part 2, so it's going to be the last of the ascendant. So if you missed last week, then you can rewatch it. But yeah, this one's part 2. So
exactly.
I'm gonna put
all right, these slides are also super small because it's a lot of information. I've cited the resources at the end. Don't sue me. But this slide is for sale for 99 cents on Etsy. If you buy a bulk, you get a bigger discount and yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to scroll through these very long-winded things and get right to the thing and then let Elle do her magic.
Explain all the things. And I do kind of want to reiterate from last week, we spoke about what the ascendant is. It is the exact moment of time that you were born on the Eastern horizon. It's where when you peek into the world, you're kind of transitioning from that 12th house, which is, I think I made it sound kind of gloomy last time. Like, oh, like it's so like traumatizing. Childbirth is traumatizing. But it's also one of the most like amazing experiences. So I need to give that credit where it's due, because it's not just like you go through the 12th house trauma and this complete crazy spiritual like, I don't know, experience. It's also very, you know, you bring a life into the world, and you can't get that experience. Like, there, to me, I don't know. I haven't done a lot of hallucinogenics, but I don't think that experience comes from anywhere else other than bringing a child into the world. Like, there's no other feeling like that. And so when you transition from the 12th house to the first, it's this whole magical, just wild experience. So that's what your rising is, and that's how you can calculate it. You have to have the time of your birth. I mean, really, to do an accurate birth chart reading, I need the time of birth anyways, because that sets up your house placements, the degrees, and it's crucial. I mean, I can give, there's some people like, well, I don't have the time. Can you just do it? Yes, I can, but it's not going to be as accurate, and I don't feel like it's worth the money. I mean, I don't feel like it is, but it's just not as accurate. So, but with that being said, we're going to also go into the planet that rules your ascendant. So each planet, you know, each sign has a planet that is attached to it. I'm going to, for the Scorpio, Aquarius, and Pisces, they have different rulers according to which type of astrology you follow. So if you're doing more of a traditional, I'm going to go over those. And if you're more modern and you like those planets, then that is kind of, you know, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with, I was trying to explain this last time. There's, however you view it, it's the same with like the houses. If you view it like whole chart or Placidus or whatever, it's really just the angle that you're looking at, you know, the astrology. So you might resonate more with, you know, if you're a Scorpio ascendant and you resonate more with what's going on in your Mars area, then that might be where you resonate. Or if you feel like more Pluto energy in your chart, then, you know, that's more modern. So we'll go into that. But just a quick little overview of what we're going to be talking about. So Libra Rising, this one is Libra's ruled by Venus. So this person is very graceful, very beautiful. Libras are fair-minded. They're very diplomatic. They're very kind. So this person is going to be a very kind person. They're going to come off very sweet, very kind. I'm not saying that they're not, like they're coming off different than they are, but if they have like a harsh, other placements, they very well could be very different than that. But just gentle, and they also like aesthetically pleasing things. They like beauty. They like things that draw their attention in a very like beautiful kind of way. And so if you have a Libra ascendant, then you're probably dressed to the nine, or you like to look nice, kind of that Taurus energy. It's Venus. So Taurus and Libra are both ruled by Venus. So anytime you have Venus in your ascendant, that's going to be your chart ruler. Venus is your chart ruler. So you're going to go in your chart and you're going to look for where your Venus is. And that is going to be the theme of your life. So, and it depends on what sign your Venus is in as well. So if you look at your ascendant and you're a Libra rising ascendant, same thing, then you're going to go to Venus and see where it's at in your chart. And it's going to be the most like where your life tends to veer to the most. And so if it's in the 5th house, maybe you have fun, maybe it's children. If it's in the 9th house, maybe it's travel and education. In Sagittarius, you could just be very lively and, but that's a 10th house energy, or the 9th house energy, sorry. I need to collect my thoughts. But yeah, so Libra rising, very beautiful. You see the world as fair. People see you as fair, and it's just a nice rising to have. I mean, it's going. You have a lot of Libra risings over there. I see you digging through your chart.
It's weird because the wedding that I'm officiating, the twins that were born for that couple this year, they're both Libra risings. Aww. And I was just looking, they have a 10th house stellium in Leo.
Oh, they're going to be successful little suckers.
Yeah. 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 I'll let their mother know next week. And I'm going to Mexico for her bachelorette party and be like, listen, I've been doing your kids' birth charts.
They're going to be very beautiful. And they're also going to be like rule the world. So good for you, mama.
Yeah, it doesn't even like surprise me because they just make beautiful, cute babies, and they're gonna be so smart.
I love it. I love it.
I'm over here being sappy.
Oh, love. I love it. Well, I mean, and like a Libra rising, you know, again, I was just explaining to one of my girlfriends today how Libra is the only sign that doesn't associate it's not the glyph, but it's I totally lost it. It's not one with a heartbeat. Every single sign has the representation is something with a heartbeat, and Libra is represented by the scales. So it's cold metal. And a lot of times this person can come off super sweet and super kind, but also standoffish and also kind of like, warm and cold, as contradicting as that is. There's this kind of like coolness to them, but you may not even really, that's more of like a Libra sun thing, I feel like, because it's really kind of who they are. This is really their mask when you meet them. So it's probably very kind, very sweet, maybe, very flirty. This is one of those little flirty signs. So
For sure.
social butterfly, extrovert, 100%. Those are all the things with the Libra rising.
I'm very excited about this one.
Scorpio rising. These.
I love the long pause.
No, nice job for this one. No, I mean, Scorpio risings, I think, are so fascinating because they're mysterious and they're just have this dark, just kind of a dark. Sorry, I'm a teenager. Just a dark kind of when you first meet them, if they have things in their chart, like they have a lot of Scorpio, they may really you might be able to detect these things, like, oh, they're very secretive, they're very dark, and it may be apparent, maybe obvious, like they're not going to meet you right off the bat and be like, oh, hey, here's my life story. No, that's not a Scorpio rising at all. Maybe if they have a lot of Libra placements, that's possible, or Geminis, because Geminis like to chit chat and they don't really care. They'll tell you their whole story. There's no fucks given in that sense. So, but typically with the Scorpio rising, and I meant to put my Libra. I'm going to go back to Libra really fast. At the party, the Libra at the party is the social butterfly. I think I said that, and it was like flirting with everyone, mingling with everyone. That's the Libra rising at the party. So last week I did everybody at a party with their rising sign, and so I'm going to stick with that because I liked that theme last time. So
fun.
Yes. So sorry, I want to go back, but no, we're back on Scorpio. So Scorpio is at the party. And they are not the social butterfly. They are not mingling with everyone. They're looking for someone similar to their darkness, like who is also being quiet, who is also, not entertaining a bunch of people just for the hell of it. Like they want depth, they want deepness, they want someone that they can have a conversation with, that they can connect with and feel. And I say feel very heavily because it's something that's crucial for them. They can't have the small talk conversations about people they don't care about because they truly don't care. You can have other placements that make you care, but if you are a Scorpio rising, you do not want to care about, or you do not want to hear about other people's life stories that you just met, because it's also they're also very, I don't want to say paranoid, but they're kind of like, well, why are you telling me all this? They do have that kind of way of thinking. They like to research, they like to investigate things. And so for someone to just openly give them information, it almost takes the fun out of it for them. They're like, oh, well, I guess I'm not going to just figure that out on my own. Like, you just told me everything. And it's kind of a turnoff to them most of the time. So if you have a Scorpio rising and you look at traditional astrology, you will want to look, or not, yeah, traditional, you'll want to look at Mars placements. So take your Scorpio rising, look in your chart, where's your Mars, what house is it in, what sign is it in, read about that. Like I say the fifth house a lot because that one's always so easy. It's like children and fun, and your sun is in the fifth house, and like I think I just naturally go there. But let's do fourth house. Say your Mars is in the fourth house and it's also in Cancer. Like, your theme of your life is going to be family. It's going to be some sort of, like, maybe it's family business, maybe you luck out in that, maybe it's like a daycare at your home. It's going to be home, it's going to be family, it's going to be very specific in that area. Whereas If you have your Mars in the ninth house, which is of travel and education, you might find yourself traveling a lot, moving a lot. And that might be the theme of your life. You might be a flight attendant, you might just be traveling all over and mostly in Hawaii. And the rest of us are mad and jealous. But that
I can't wait to get back to work.
I know. I'm like, I bet you miss it. But I mean, that's
just that part. Just the part you mentioned. Not much else.
Not the people or the actual work part. Just being in Hawaii.
If it was a plane full of puppies, I would never quit.
We should manifest this for you.
Yeah, a plane full of kittens, if we're going to be specific.
That could be fun and interesting.
Yeah.
Adventurous, outgoing kittens. Not scared, whiny kittens. But so that's just kind of how you are going to figure out where to look in your chart for the theme of your life. Now, if you do more modern, you're going to look at Pluto, because in modern astrology, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. And so it doesn't matter. It's more of just your personal preference. I like traditional, but I also look at Pluto like, okay, let's see if this is something that aligns more or makes more sense. So you can look at your Pluto, or you can look at your Mars, depending on which type of astrology you would like to study, or which one you feel like resonates with you. That's totally fine.
There's so much to know.
There's a lot. I know. I'm like, I gotta take like a pause sometimes, because I'm like, by the time
you're the one with the hard work. I can snack, look at friends, send my text.
I finished my burger before, but no, it's just sometimes I'm like, by the end of it, I feel like I've been talking that I'm like, I don't even know. It's not like I'm losing my voice. I swear I'm like congested all of a sudden. I'm like, how does this happen? But okay, Sagittarius Rising. To me, maybe I'm biased because this is mine, but I feel like it is the best one to have, because not only do you see the world in a very optimism and you're very hopeful, and it's like stupidly hopeful. Like, you could go into the lion's den and be like, you know what, I'm going to make friends with lions. Like, this is going to happen. This is how this is going to play out. And it's like, probably not going to happen that way. But the optimistic, perspective of that is really incredible. So I always appreciate this in my chart, because I am a Sagittarius dominant chart, which something else causes that. It's not my Sagittarius rising. But I always can appreciate, because no matter how much shit I go through, I have a Scorpio Saturn, okay? I go through a lot of shit, and I always have. It's never really let up. I'm constantly battling different things that like most people don't know about. And I end up seeing like the best side of it. And I find the positive side in it. And maybe it's like some sort of coping mechanism, but at the same time, like, it's truly how I view things and feel. So when you have a Sagittarius rising, it gives you a positive. You love to explore. You're constantly, moving around and changing. It's mutable. So to lock down someone with this placement and with a Libra sun, it can be very challenging, because we are constantly moving. We got cardinal and mutable energy in there. And it's, when you're Sagittarius rising, you want to explore. You're curious. Like, the world is something that should be explored, and to stay in one place is really difficult for you. So you're going to look at Jupiter in your chart. So I'll use mine for example. My Jupiter is in the second house in Aquarius, and I find the weirdest ways to make money, because the second house of money in Aquarius is just weird as hell. And I promise you, I've attracted an abundance of things in my life. I've had good highs and great lows, but I've attracted things, really financial possessions, things like that, in a weird, eccentric way that doesn't make sense to a lot of people. It doesn't even make sense to me, to be honest. But I think my positive attitude on top of these placements, I mean, Jupiter in Aquarius is pretty lucky, and in the second house is very lucky. So, I find myself just walking into things sometimes like, oh, now I own a home, or I own a bar, or I own who knows what it is. But I always do these things that I'm just like, here I am, and I show up for it, and it's good fun. So this caught my eye. Marriage is not the most important thing in your life. That is true and not true. I'm a Libra sun, so and a Taurus moon. So I'm going to say that, my marriage is obviously very important, but that is very true. We are wonders. We are curious. It is hard to, if you know someone with a Sagittarius rising, commitment can be challenging for them. And it would almost, and this is how my relationship is so free. I can be myself. I can do whatever I want. And my husband's the same. He's a Gemini, so it works great. But that's not always the case. I've dated a few Capricorns, and I've talked about how that's gone. So it doesn't work. It's just really difficult. So again, Sagittarius rising, very positive. You are the person at the party, living it up, doing whatever you want, probably asking a lot of questions. My husband's like, God, you're doing that thing again where you're asking like 50 questions to one person, and at the end you could just see the person's like space out, like, oh my God, what is this lady getting to? But I'm curious. I'm curious as to why they're doing the what's and the whatevers and how it's working out. And yeah, so if you find yourself getting interrogated by a complete stranger, they're probably a Sagittarius.
Oh my gosh, now I'm gonna add that to my party trick. What's your rising sign? You've been asking a lot of questions. What are you, a cop?
Mm-hmm. Like, I get this a lot. What do you need to know this for? And I'm like, I don't know, but I just want to know. And is that like, it's mostly my husband who's like, he says, I get it the worst because you always have questions. My kids, like, where are you going with this? I'm like, I don't know. I'm just curious. What were they wearing?
Details are important.
Yeah, I'll probably a little Virgo in there too. But all right, Capricorn rising. So, I went over the ruling planet. Okay, we're good. So if you have a Capricorn rising, this is a great place for business. I always want to find a Capricorn rising and just know about how their life has been. I mean, depending on things in their chart, but how they
have some.
Do you? I want to know how their businesses have been ran, what they found the most effective. These people are on top of their shit, and they're very disciplined. They're very structured. They're very, frugal, and I can appreciate that. You can confirm.
Unless you're dating that, then frugal is just not an attractive look for me, anyways.
Yeah. You want to have fun, especially in the beginning. It's got to be.
Yeah, just spend your money and let's not talk about it.
Don't tell me to tally up all the things you spent.
Yeah, I get it. You spent a lot, but I left my house. That's priceless.
There was that. If anything, you owe me, sir.
Yeah, I put on clothes, hair. I got a lot of hair.
Yes, that Leo rising, man. Well, so if you have a Capricorn rising and you find yourself, tallying up what you've paid for and what they've paid for, maybe just relax a little. Just food for thought. And if not, that's okay. You know what? Find yourself a good little Taurus rising. They will love the fact that you were tallying. They're like, oh, hey, I have my tallies too. And then, bam, love it first sight. So, I mean, I can appreciate it, though. I think that they're great business leaders. They are very structured. The way they think, how they come across, and the way they see the world is business. And they're always, looking for opportunities, trying to figure out, like, how can I make money off of this? How can I be successful? Their public role is super important. Their reputation is everything. They want to appear to have their shit together, whether they do or don't. They want to seem like they're successful, whether they are or not. And they definitely care about their public role and how they appear to others. So it's very important. They're probably the very well-dressed person that walks into the party that's kind of like, filling it out, not super outgoing, but like charismatic and enough. So it's very, it's just one of those energies at the party that's just cool, calm, and collected. Definitely wants to make friends, but not like overly. And they don't really care if they're actually making friends. It's more of like, is this going to be a good connection for me to climb this social ladder and status and all of that is really what it could be. So not that that's a bad thing. I mean, that's how a lot of people get ahead, and that's how people are prosperous, and, it works for them. The ruler of Capricorn rising is going to be Saturn.
Of course.
So the theme of your life is possibly you just go through a lot of shit. You go through hard things, but you know what? You push through, and you might be a little resentful for it. It's not quite like Sagittarius, who's like cheerful and like sees the positive. They're like, well, this is gonna fucking suck, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna push through, and I'm gonna make it work. And they find different avenues to like, work through it. But Saturn is your ruling planet in this aspect, and I think that there's a lot of things that just come at you really heavily, and just try to embrace them. Best thing you can do. All right, Aquarius Rising. So these are some just little odd ducks. They're just a little different. I can appreciate that. I love when I see an Aquarius Rising just geeking out on some weird eccentric shit. I love that.
That's literally Amanda.
Is it really?
An Aquarius Rising geeking out on EDM music or wine, fancy wine.
I love that. Yeah. They sometimes can be in their own little world. They can be like two people at the party. Depends on their mood. Because they're like extroverted, but they're also introverted. They can be the person at the party that's like, hanging around all the people, observing and just kind of, entertaining, because they do like friendships. Aquarius is very friendly. They love like a friend vibe. They also like to talk shit. They love banter. I don't know Aquariuses. They're like Aries energy sometimes. They're like, I don't know. Little things. So,
agreed.
With that being said, they can be either in a group, causing a little havoc, being a little rebellious because that's in their nature, or they could just be more, listening to music in a corner or playing some game in the corner. It's something weird. It's got to be weird. Like maybe they're crocheting like monkey dolls in the corner. I don't know what came out, but
wow,
they're doing something weird that just doesn't make a lot of sense at a party, but they're there doing it. And that too is Aquarius energy. So Aquarius is one of those that has the ruler that traditional is going to be Saturn, which let me tell you, I have a girlfriend who is an Aquarius rising, and her Saturn is in the 6th house, and Cancer rules her 6th house. Now, she has more issues with employees. We think about it, 6th house, people of service, not necessarily under you. I hate saying that, but it's like people that work for you. You pay them, so they're not like beneath you. They just work for you.
Right.
This girl has more issues, and I can go on for days about the weird shit that I've seen her go through. I've experienced it myself. I got pulled into the weird shit one time, and I was like, how did this happen? Like, something I can't even make up, and it's crazy, but it happens to her all the time. And this is like the perfect example of Saturn ruling the Aquarius and where it's at structured in her life, because it really does show up. And she tries to be nurturing, and she tries to be motherly to some of these employees, and they get attached. Like that's like the mother they never had, kind of weird shit. I'm telling you, girls, some weird things. I'm probably like not making a lot of sense, but when Cancer rules the 6th house and you're hiring people, and then there's that motherly energy, and your chart ruler is Saturn in the 6th house, it gets weird.
That's wild.
Yeah, it's a trip. So again, that's just if you look at it traditionally and you look for your Saturn, see what house is in. That's a great example of how you kind of calculate. Okay, 6th house can mean employees. Saturn is the planet that teaches us all the things, the struggles, the hard things. I would definitely say that's been her biggest struggle throughout her life, are the employees that she hires. And like, girl, you have to hire someone to take care of the employees because you're not the one.
Yeah, right.
So
that's so weird.
It is. I'd believe her because she's not a liar, but it would be hard for me to believe some of the stories. But the fact that I've been there firsthand and witnessed the weirdness, I'm like, I think it's you.
Yeah. Not everyone's meant to do every job.
Huh?
Not everyone's meant to do every job.
No, and not, she's just learns a lot. She goes that Saturn. But if you do not do traditional, then Uranus is going to be where you're going to look at, because in modern astrology, Uranus rules Aquarius. So if you don't find all the lessons, you're going through all the shit in the house that it's in, it's really, the house is going to state the place. And so if you do go through Saturn, this is just kind of a interesting little fun fact. Say you want to look at the Saturn and it's in the 12th house, that can a lot of times be like a mental hospital or hospitals. things of that nature. So maybe look at that if that's something that resonates. Or it could be Uranus, and it could be more of where you rebel. You find that you're always constantly rebelling. If you have Aquarius and you look at it from the Uranus perspective in the 11th house, you're probably, you know, doing these big movements, you know, the BLM, you probably advocate for like just different communities that need a voice. That's a really good, you know, placement to have. And it makes you a really strong fighter in those placements, that you can show up and you can fight and you're not scared and you'll state your opinion, and, you know, what you feel is right and just is right and just. So
What about
just
ninth
different,
house?
huh?
What about Saturn in the ninth house?
Saturn in the ninth house, you could struggle with religion. You could struggle with organized religions can be a really big struggle there. You may learn a lot and go through something through like a church. It could be very detrimental to your health, or it could be, you know, something through travel or education, because, you know, that's also the house of like philosophy and higher education. So there could be some things that you go through, maybe. So the Aquarius rising, what is it in? What sign is it in?
Sorry, I just lost it. What sign is it in? Scorpio.
So, I mean, Scorpio being all about transitions, it could be that, did this person go to college?
Yes.
And there have been a lot of issues with college, maybe professors. Maybe this person didn't feel that they were getting the education that they were paying for. They weren't maybe given enough tasks. I mean, this could resonate through like college. Again, it could be religion, it could be college. Something in one of those areas have been big in their life to cause them to kind of push through lessons. So
interesting. I just make fun of her. She went to college and she got a fashion major and she's a flight attendant, and we tell her she has a degree in the history of polka dots.
She's like, but you know what? Here I am. And maybe there was something in that was very like traumatic, and maybe you guys making fun of her is causing her to learn.
It's all me. I'm the problem.
You're the daddy planet.
That seems to be the theme this week.
If it wasn't you, it would be someone else, so it's fine.
I mean, yeah, but I don't really want to like live by that philosophy. Capricorn's already got a bad rap for being mean.
It's your Libra rising and your Capricorn sun. Thank God for your Libra moon. God.
I know. I was just like, my mouth is just, I can't, it just comes out sometimes. I'm sorry in advance.
Some people need to hear it though.
Really yeah. Funny. I'm honest.
You know, we always know where we stand with you.
Yes.
I always love that. So.
Yeah, I'm not fake.
No. The men at the bar, they all know that.
They're like, oh fuck, here she comes again. We gotta get out of here.
They haven't been back to the bar since.
They're like, Julie, you gotta stop coming in here because the men aren't paying.
Yeah, they're leaving and they're not coming back. You should be like, hey, I talk about you on my live. Here's my card. Tune in.
Oh, no interaction afterwards.
I love that. All right, Pisces Rising. So this one is, I always think of like sweet and kind. They come across very sweet. They come across very what are all the words I'm looking for Pisces? Childlike. There's a childlikeness to Pisces. It's almost like I compare Pisces a lot with Libras, but I also can compare them with like Geminis, because they do have this like airy, childlike way about them. And so I feel like a lot of times when I meet Pisces rising, they have like those big like eyes that are, and like sad eyes. I'm not doing descriptions on the risings, but they have these, like little puppy, you know, like the cat in what's the cartoon? Puss in Boots?
Yeah.
It does like this little sad eye thing. That is such a Pisces moment where like they can get anything they want with those big old sad eyes. And that's just Pisces rising energy. They're very cute. There's something cute about them. And so they're very spiritual. They see the world as a very they can be naive. I'm going to say that. They see the world as dangerous, but also kind of lack this ability to sense the danger and trust. Oh God, they trust so many people. You know, they don't have that good judgment right off the bat, because I think, and maybe as they get older, but younger Pisces risings, like they want to believe that everyone is good. They want to believe like, no, this person isn't going to screw me over or whatever, you know, and it might take them getting burned a lot for them to really like sink that in and like hold on to that and be like, okay.
So it might depend on the degree that it's in, right? Also.
Yeah, that'll be a huge factor. You know, if you're like a later, like a higher degree, 29 degrees, you've evolved through a lot of things. So that may not be an issue, but if you're at a 0 degree Pisces rising, good luck. Let me know how life goes for you. But they typically are very creative. They're very artsy. They have this mystical, mysterious kind of way about them, but it's not quite like that Scorpio, like intense, you know, energy. It's not as intense. It's very subtle. They're just sweet, and they really are private. They're not loud. Like they're the people at the party that are just kind of showing up and hanging out, being friendly with everyone, but they're low key. You're like so ready to leave so they can go home and be alone, because too many energies, too many people, too many feelings. They feel all of it, especially if they're like a heavy empath. Speaking of Pisces, mine just lost her shit.
And on cue.
She's like, wait a minute.
You rang?
It's me. What are you doing down there? How dare you take 5 minutes or an hour away from me? But yeah, so I mean, a Pisces rising, they have a way about them. I feel like they're the hardest to understand. So like when you meet someone, you can kind of gauge like, okay, this person is this or that. Pisces are hard. They're mutable and they're shifting and changing. They may not even really know what they are, who they are. So figuring that out. Hey, Mackenzie, can we turn that way down? Little John in the background, sorry.
Like, I ain't mad about it.
Okay, well, Petey Pablo needs to be turned way down.
Oh man.
Live, guys, live. This is what live looks like. Anyways, so Pisces rising, if you traditionally look at your planet ruler, you're gonna look at Jupiter. I like Jupiter for Pisces. I think Pisces could use a little luck, because Pisces, I just feel like they're so far out there and they always get a lot of shit handed to them. So I like to look at Jupiter. Again, if you're a Pisces rising and you look at Jupiter and it's in a house and a sign that you're like, this doesn't really resonate, then you're going to look at the more modern and go to Neptune, which Neptune honestly makes more sense for Pisces, because it's, you know, dreamy and not always right, kind of an illusion, and that's very Pisces energy. So with this one, I would maybe just cross-reference a little heavier than I would with, say, Scorpio or Aquarius. But yeah, so Pisces rising, look at your chart and look at where don't look at Saturn for Pisces, Jupiter and Neptune, and then kind of put those together. Look at the house, look at the energy of the sign, put those together and see if that really resonates with like a theme of your life, or you know, how you maneuver through life, and if it shows up often, more than once. So that's how you detect that.
Woo.
And that's all the rising.
We did it.
I know.
What are we studying next week? I haven't even started.
Are we doing house rulers?
Oh, yes. I have that on my productions sheet. I have some information. I will figure it out this week before I go from Mexico.
I love that. And I'm such a bad person with not sending you the weekly.
Oh, you're fine. Life happens, man.
I need Astrology 101 to figure all this out.
You got to check out the first 39 videos. We have hours of content.
It will take a work.
But if you watch all of that and then come back and you still need questions, we're going to figure it out.
I have a solution. If you work a 40-hour work week, just have it playing in the background.
Yes, we need the views.
Yeah. Like and subscribe. Thank you.
Thank you. That's literally the best and easiest way to show love. And also, we just doing all this hard work, and the more people that see it, the more it's worth it, right?
Yeah.
So
Share it. Like it.
thanks.
Yeah.
Post it. Now we have a Twitter officially. I made it today.
You're like, will you repost? And I'm like, fuck, I don't know how to repost on Twitter. I'm so technology. Not it. I'm like, okay.
I haven't done social media in like 10 years, so I'm having to relearn a bunch of it. Danny sent me some classes to take so I can freshen up, but I was like, whew.
Oh, that's so nice. Maybe I should link into those because
Yeah.
I used to have a Twitter. I had to create a new one. I used to have a Vine. I used to do little Vines. If anyone knows what Vine is, I mean,
I remember those days.
Oh, I loved the Vines. I was like there for it. And then it went away and then it became TikTok. And then I was like, I'm too old for TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like in my
But you're not.
I know. No, I'm not. No one is. My kids are on it. My kids are heavily on it.
Yeah.
And so I try to stay on the platform that they're like not as much on, but not Facebook because I struggle with Facebook. But I'm doing better. But Instagram, I just stay on Instagram because, that's my comfort zone.
Yeah, I feel you. That's my favorite one too.
Yeah. So.
Don't worry, Alan. I have all the wine. Well, on that note, thank you for everyone watching. And thank you, Elle. Thank you, Megan. And we will see you guys next Monday with the chart rulers.
So
right?
fun.
Yeah, chart rulers. All right, bye.
Yes, sorry.
I was like, right?
I thought you were going to end it. I was just waiting. Oh, wait.